Well, alrighty then. Let me get started by cleaning the screen. We have a few new subscribers on the YouTube channel this week. I don't know why. Like, did I do something? But apparently, a couple of people decided they wanted to subscribe. And I'm not sure what's wrong with them, but until they figure out what it is, let's try to make them feel welcome. So at the very least, they don't feel like they've made a terrible mistake. Just a fairly large one. So anyway, because we got a couple new people that might be watching this week for whatever reason. Whenever new people subscribe, there's a tendency for new videos to show up in their stream. So to kind of let you guys know what's going on and what this stream is about and what I do here. Oh, God, my eye is bothering me. The entire point of these streams is to get me to think about my art and preferably practice my art for at least 20 minutes every week. Preferably an entire hour. And the purpose of me working on my art is because I'm working on this clicker game where you grope the anime girl until she drops her panties. That's like the whole point of the game. And the game is actually built. The main thing that I need is I need art. I need art for this game. That's the thing that's missing, and that's the thing that I need to work on. And as you can see, everything just fits together just fine, and everything works. And you can see that I'm collecting the panties as I grope the anime girl. Now, the picture isn't rotating. Well, the picture is rotating, but there's only one picture, so it looks like the picture isn't rotating. And then you can get your special gloves that make it easier to collect panties, and you can collect more panties, and so on and so forth. And there are, of course, in-app purchases that you can use to collect the various power-ups. And yeah, I just spent a fake $40 on the game so I could buy a whole bunch of stuff. And that allows me to get this wonderful stream of panties going, and then to proceed to collect more power-ups over here on the side, and everything is working in the game. I just need better art, you know. I need better images for the power-ups, and I need better images for all the various, all the various types of tea that we've got. And then, of course, I need to do some more work on the prestige matrix. And there is one element of the game that I haven't added yet, which is the Army of Filthy Perverts. That's not available in the game quite yet. But it will be available fairly shortly. It's not going to be exactly difficult to add. The only thing I have to do is, well, like I said, mostly I have to do artwork for it. It's the artwork that's missing. And that will eventually all come together. But for the moment, holy shit, this is ramping up fast. I like clicker games, so it's really easy for me to get bound up in this, especially because this one's my clicker game. But anyway, the stuff that I've been working on this week, I have been mostly grinding levels in Starfield. But I'm done grinding levels in Starfield. And now I'm grinding skill challenges in Starfield. I got another 38 of those to go. But that's the only thing that I need to do, is to finish off those 38 skills, and then I pretty much cap out my character. And in any case, what I have been kind of thinking about this week is the general lack of progress and lack of improvement that I've been feeling, although I have been doing a fair amount of work on perspective. And that work is not exactly meaningless. It's just let's go, we got a figure as a square. Okay, and now let's grab our object, move that down here, and then we'll rotate it. Get it where we need it to be. And then we'll go back to our ruler and get ourselves a another linear ruler, and we'll start right there, and we'll go straight up along that edge and make ourselves a 90-degree vanishing point. Now, one of the many things that I have been doing in terms of trying to get my head to wrap around perspective is trying to work out all of the bits and pieces about measurement. So if I project from here up to here, and then I project from here up to here, that'll give me a measurement line. I haven't done a very good job on those. If I come up through that corner there, I could come up through this same point there, and then by the same token I can come over here and I can go, all right, we're going to project this over here, and we're going to project this over here, and now I can drag down a guideline, and these are the measurement lines for those two sides. But what I need now is I need the actual measuring lines. So I need my measuring point for that, and I need my measuring point for that. Let's zoom back in, and we'll identify our measuring points, which are right here. What I want to do is I want to come down through this, I'll take my linear ruler, and I want to come from my measuring point over here down to here, and I want to come from my measuring point over here down to here, and that is going to give me the measurement of my box sides. That one goes in there, and that one goes in there. I don't want to be using the sketch brush for this. I'll be using the line brush. So there's that side. And there's that side. And now all we need is the appropriate height. And the height is simple enough to get. All we got to do is take our linear ruler again, start from that side, shift to get a 45-degree angle, go across there, and then we just grab a vertical, we pull it across, it's going to come to there, and that's our height right there. Then we go back to our brush. Let's see if we can't get this actually where we want it to be. Man, this is like impossible. Okay, and then we'll erase along there. Get that where it goes, and now we can scroll out, and we can go to our vanishing points same way as before, which means we can now take a linear ruler, come all the way out, and we go from here out to here, and from here out to here. It's not a very good job there. I'm not being extraordinarily precise on this, but we're getting close on it. And once we've done that, we just have to come on in here, go back to our brush, we don't want to be in erase mode, we want to be in draw mode. And then all we got to do is just go vertically from the ends as we had before. Back to the brush. That in there. Erase. Erase. Oh, I'm on the wrong. I don't know where I drew these lines. I drew them somewhere. They had to be drawn somewhere. Huh. Well, wherever they are, doesn't matter. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes into drawing stuff in perspective, and I've been looking into that, and I've been getting comfortable with it. And what I've been trying to work on is horizontal angles, because as you undoubtedly noticed, when I made this little 90-degree angle here, which is not very precise, as you can see, but when I made this little 90-degree angle here, looking down at it here at the station point, the 90 degrees is 90 degrees. Well, the thing is that if you project this forward, if you move this all the way up here, okay, then you actually get a projection of that. You get a projection of this object and it's on its side. So let me come over here and just go, we'll put it on the palette layer. So if you project it up here, it's up on its side like this. Let me clear that. So it's up on its side like that. But what if you want the top of it to be angled? Well, if you want the top of it to be angled, you have to take this and scoot it down. So you would just move layer. You'd move that down so you get a 30-degree angle there. And you would go, okay, from a 30-degree angle, we're going to come up. We're going to do another linear ruler. I'm going to start here, and we're going to come up at that 30-degree angle, and we're going to come across the center here. So what we're going to do is we're going to come across to where the normal vanishing point would be, right here. And that's the new vanishing point for a 30-degree angled top. For a 30-degree angled top, what I actually want to do is I want to come up here. So let's take both of those off. I'm going to do a linear ruler here. And a linear ruler here. And that gives us the appropriate lining for that. That gives us the appropriate vanishing points for that particular foundation there. It doesn't look right. That does not look right at all. I mean, that's what... That's what the perspective said, but is it actually how it's supposed to look? I think it is, actually. Or at least whatever's messed up with it is something I've messed up with the precision, not a problem with the process. I need to spend more time working on this kind of stuff. I need to spend more time working on getting the rulers really, really precise. Like exactly where I want them to be. And getting a better handle on how the measuring line fits into the process. And a figure ruler. That's going to give us our appropriate lengths to provide us with the triangle structure that I'm putting together. Establish my horizon line. And then I can project upward. I try to work too fast. That's one of the biggest problems that I have, is that I work too fast. I don't take my time. I don't get everything perfect. And it doesn't really matter when I'm here on stream talking about, hey, here's the shit that I'm trying to do that I'm no good at, and here's the stuff that I'm working with, and here are the steps, but not exactly a good example if I'm not taking my time and slowing down and showing things done absolutely perfectly. But there's a reason nobody really does that in real time, because it's fucking boring. They always speed up the footage for stuff like that, because that's the only way it's even remotely watchable. I'll back up on that. Go to my sketch brush. And one of the things I always try to live by is the fundamental idea that the best way to understand what you're doing is to explain it. And the two best ways to explain something are, number one, to tell people what problem you're having, as though you were trying to solve it. This will help you solve the problem, because in order to explain it to them, you're going to have to say things that you should have already thought of. And the other thing that you can do is you can try to, if you're not having a problem, you can teach what you know to somebody else, even if you don't know it very well. And the process of teaching it will help you to understand things that you've overlooked and missed in the process. So that's pretty much what I'm doing here on these streams, is talking about my problems and discussing the appropriate way to deal with them, and teaching the things that I've actually learned, like how to set up measuring points, which I'm not explaining very well because I did something about that a couple of weeks ago. God, I've been streaming for 2 years, and I'm still not that much better at my art. So I got a whole bunch of stuff that needs to be done. Like one of the things that I need to do is for every level of Groping Festival, the game that I'm working on, there's got to be a background that your anime girl kind of stands in. So you got this background, and you got your anime girl standing in it, and then you've got the interface elements. Like over here, you've got your tea shop, and you've also got your army of filthy perverts on a separate tab, and over here you've got your power ups, and you've got your in-app purchases, and down here on the bottom we've got the prestige matrix. And up here's your total collection of panties, and so on and so forth. And all of this is pretty basic. It's not all that hard to put together. And then there'll be like there'll be a pair of hands. And when you click on the girl, the hands will do like a little grasping motion. And it'll be silly. It's still just, I mean, it's a clicker game. You click the thing in the middle of the screen until the treasure falls out. That's really all there is to it. There's to be a little collection up here so you can use your various power-ups. But the big thing is that I need 10 backgrounds. I need all of these different interface elements, and there are roughly 1,000 different sprites that need to be made for this. There are 110 different anime girl pictures that I need to draw. There are 10 filthy perverts. I need to draw various poses of Ollie the Magic Bum, who's the guy who's asking you to do stuff. And obviously I need to do new graphics for the T, and new graphics for all the power-ups, and graphics for the gems, and graphics for all of the special panties that go into the prestige matrix. And that's a lot of work. That's a whole lot of stuff. And the major thing that I'm concerned with is I'm concerned with the characters, the girls in the middle of the screen, and with Ollie the Magic Bum, and with the 10 different filthy perverts in the army. And the backgrounds. Those are the main things that I'm concerned about, is just getting the backgrounds and the character graphics done, because those are critical. Those are the things that I'm going to do over and over and over again. And all the various interface elements, those aren't going to be all that difficult. They're not going to take all of that long. But I am going to need to spend some time working, and I'm trying to get to a point where I can do backgrounds, and I'm not doing a very good job on that. But I need to work more on doing the backgrounds. If I can get the 10 backgrounds done, then I can start working on getting the girls done. There's a lot of work that needs to be done on that because this isn't the only game. It's the first game in a series, and all of these girls and all 10 of the filthy perverts need to have full character backgrounds. They need to have full workups. I need to understand who they are. I need to understand why they're dressed the way they are, why they have the expression they have, why they're in the pose they're in. And doing that back work now, all the way at the beginning, will save me from having to explain why things were different in the first game. And that's a whole lot of work. So I'm looking at a lot of this, and there's a certain sense of despair because I have so much work to do. And I sit there and I go, well, how much time is it going to take me to do all of this? Well, there's like 1,000 different sprites I need to do, and each of those is going to take like a minute or two. So you figure that's going to take like 3,600 minutes or thereabouts. 3,000 minutes. So 3,000 minutes is 50 hours. So that's a whole week of nothing but drawing sprites. Now the UI elements, those are going to take some time. They're not going to take much more than like an hour or so each. So you figure there's like a half dozen of those, and now you're up to like 60 hours. But then you get to the characters, and there are 121 characters. And Ollie in particular has a whole lot of different poses and expressions and all of that sort of stuff that need to go together. And each of these characters is going to take, that's going to take several hours. So you figure that's going to take 500 hours. So it ends up being like 600 hours, and if it's 600 hours, that is 15 weeks of solid work on nothing but the graphics. So it's like even when I get to the point that I'm good enough, that still puts me 4 months away from having the actual releasable game put together. And that's a lot. But it's also, I mean, the kind of silver lining on all of this is usually when people are developing a game, they got to worry about the programming. I don't have to worry about the programming. The programming's basically done. And, you know, I've been a programmer for a long time, so it didn't take me that long to do the programming for the game. And it's not going to take me that long to add in the code for the Army of Filthy Perverts. That's going to be pretty basic. Although I am going to need to set up some kind of... there's going to be a lot of playtesting that I need to do at some point. Well, most of that can be automated, though. Most of the playtesting can be automated by just simulating and saying, here's a player that has specific... here's a player with specific priorities, and this is what they're going to do, and we're going to simulate what happens as they go through the game. And when they have the game open and they're actively playing, this is how many times a second they click. Most of that can just be run automatically, and we can say they're going to play for this many seconds, and then they're going to shut everything down, and they're going to go off for who knows how long, and then they're going to come back. And we want to see what stuff looks like when they come back. We want to see what stuff looks like if they spend a lot of money buying a whole lot of upgrades. And is the game still fun if you do that? Or does it become just, like, pointless? Like, if you spend $12,000 in the game, is there any point to playing it? Does it still remain a fun game? And at the same time, you have to say, well, most people playing a clicker game don't have any money to spend on it, and they don't want to spend any money on it anyway. So you have to think about, is the game fun if you spend nothing? And you also have to think, is the game fun if you spend a lot? And then at the same time, if somebody's going to spend a lot, if somebody's going to spend thousands of dollars in the game, you want them to get to a place where they want to spend more money really fast. Because sooner or later, they're going to wake up and go, oh, wait, I shouldn't spend thousands of dollars on a clicker game. And you need to kind of strike while the iron's hot on that one, because that's where all the money comes from, is the whales. But there's this thing a lot of games like this do where they chase the whales and they go, how do we make this game appeal primarily to whales and be the most fun if you are a whale? I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in the whales getting what they're after and remaining in a place where they still want to spend more money. Because when a whale shows up, I want to keep the whale happy so they stick around as long as possible and keep spending money. But I don't have any particular interest in trying to specifically attract whales. Because the overwhelming majority of people playing your game are going to be people that don't want to spend money on it. That's your marketing force. Those are the people that are going to say, hey, this game is really fucking funny. You should play it because there's panties flying all over the place. Those are the people that are going to get other people playing your game. And the great majority of people who spend money are going to spend like $10, $20, $50, and then they're done. They're not going to spend any more money. And I'm not looking to manipulate how much money anybody spends. I'm not looking to convince anybody to spend money they can't afford to spend. And I'm not even interested in getting somebody that doesn't want to spend money to change their mind and spend money. Because I can't afford to spend money on fucking clicker games. So I know what that's like. And I don't want to be a dick and go, no, you need to spend money. No, fuck that shit. I am primarily interested in using this game as publicity for the next game, which is not going to be free to play, and it's going to be basically a horde survival kind of thing. It's essentially a Vampire Survivors clone, but instead of running from a horde of monsters, you're one of the girls and you're running from that army of filthy perverts. So I kind of flipped the script on that one. We start off with Groping Festival, grope the girls and get their panties, and then we go, okay, well, now you're the girl. They're trying to grope you and get your panties. Run. I find that interesting. I find that amusing. And there's a storyline behind that. And the storyline behind that is that Ollie the Magic Bum has a nefarious plan to take over the world, and it's not going to work, and it's going to make things horrible, and he has to be stopped. Because he's taking people's panties. I mean, you can't let somebody go around doing that. That's not okay. Man. Every so often, I go over in my head the sequence of events that led to this game being about panties, and I'm like, the fuck is wrong with me? Why did I let myself get dragged into this? But yeah, the whole thing about it being about panties was a mistake in the first place. But now it's this whole thing, it's this whole production, and I'm trapped. But it's going to be cool. It's going to be really cool. There's a lot of neat stuff going on. And the important thing is that no matter how it goes, and this is what it comes down to. The two big disruptive games over the past few months have been Palworld, which everybody's talking about now, and Baldur's Gate 3, which everyone was talking about before. And the AAA games industry has been shitting little green apples over both of these games because they don't want their own games compared to them. They don't seem to understand the difference between the typical AAA game and Baldur's Gate 3 and Palworld. And the difference is that the entire focus in both Palworld and Baldur's Gate 3 has been to make a game that people like. Now, I love Starfield. I think Starfield is a fantastic game. But a large part of that is because Starfield went very high-minded and conceptual, and they were like, here is this deep, meaningful thing that we're going to say. A lot of people don't think that deep, meaningful thing is fun. Now, I do. I do think that deep, meaningful thing is fun, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it, and I've got almost 2,000 hours in the game, but a whole lot of people are just not liking it at all. And I understand that. But that's really what it comes down to. It's like with this clicker game, my primary concern is I want this game to be fun. I want people to enjoy playing the game. I have some things that I want to say, and I have a story that I want to tell, and I have a series that I want to kickstart, and all of that stuff needs to go in there, but at the same time, none of that means shit if the game isn't fun to play. And, I mean, hell, you saw me playing it, and I get sucked into it and go, I have to click the picture in the middle of the screen. Because I'm the kind of person who likes clicker games. And that's who the game is for, is a person who likes clicker games. And that's really all it's for, is for people who enjoy clicker games to enjoy this one because I tried to make a good one. And the same thing is going to happen when you get to the Horde survival game. When you get to Stop Groping Me, which is the second game in the series, then the entire point of that is to be a good game. And when you get past that to I'm not going to let you filthy perverts grope my little sister at the hot springs, that's going to be a tower defense game, and it's all about being a fun tower defense game and having interesting gameplay mechanics. I don't know what the interesting gameplay mechanic of Stop Groping Me is. I don't have a killer idea for that one yet. I mean, Groping Festival has the Prestige Matrix, which to me, that is the game. Okay? The Prestige Matrix, that is the game. That is what makes the game interesting and what makes the game fun and why you play it instead of some other game. Stop Groping Me, I don't know what the distinguishing factor is on that one yet. There will be one. I'm not going to let you filthy perverts grope my little sister in the hot springs. On the other hand, the the interesting factor on that one is you have assistants that are placing your towers. You have 3 assistants, and each one can be placing 1 tower at a time, and placing the towers takes time, and they have to go over there to place a tower. And while they're placing a tower, they're not engaged in fighting the enemy. So when you go and you say, in between levels, you'll be able to say, build this tower here, and that tower here, and this tower here, and that tower here. And there are your 3 different types of towers, and each of your assistants can go and build their type of tower one at a time. But you need them to finish the towers fast enough before the army of filthy perverts gets far enough along that you need to have the tower, you know? And you can't explicitly place your assistants except by telling them to build a tower. So when you tell your assistant to build this tower, build that tower, build the other tower, so on and so forth, once they're done building towers, they're standing wherever they're standing after building the last tower. And that better be the location where you want them. Otherwise, you have to build another tower, or tell them to tear one down. I haven't really thought about teardowns yet. I haven't gone through all of the stuff for the tower defense installment. But those 3 games, I mean, to me, this is high-minded because it starts out, it's the first-person perspective on groping girls, the second-person perspective, because instead of being the person that's doing the groping, you're the person that's getting groped. And then you have the third-person perspective. You are neither doing the groping nor getting groped. You are outside of that particular interchange. So that's interesting to me, is to examine that from the first, second, and third-person perspectives. And then the fourth game in the series, not 100% sure of yet. It might be a visual novel. It might be a JRPG. I'm kind of leaning toward the JRPG. I think a JRPG would be cooler. But yeah, that one's going to have like the massive story and tell you what Ollie's plan is and what's going on and how you need to stop him and all of that. I didn't really talk about art very much today. I mean, I talked a little. I don't think it was meaningful or helpful. Sorry about that. It do be like that sometimes. You sit down to do a thing, and you don't do the thing. But this time, this stream is primarily for me to think about what it is that I'm trying to accomplish and what it is that I'm trying to do, and really kind of wrap my head around it. And make sure that I keep my head wrapped around it and keep focused on it. And remember, this is the thing that I'm doing. This is the thing that I'm working on. I need to think more seriously about the music for these games. I'm going to need to do that, too. Programming's not a problem. The graphics are what I'm working on right now. Those are the big hurdle. And then there's music. And music isn't going to be a huge issue. It's just going to take some time to put together. And it really does, man, the music actually does need to be composed, doesn't it? Each of the 10 individual girls needs their own specific theme. They need their leitmotif, as it were. So you need to start thinking about that I need to start thinking about how it's all going to fit together. And once we've got these, once we've got all these various motifs, well, we need a motif for each of the girls, and we need a motif for each of the perverts, and we need a motif for Ollie, and we need a motif for you, the protagonist. We need a motif for each of the 3 assistants in the tower defense game. So that's about 25 different melodies. Wonder what I'll do in terms of a key and a scale. Be interesting to do it all in F Locrian. That would be different. I don't know that anybody does anything. I don't know that anybody does anything in Locrian in the first place. Damn it, I'm out of coffee. And out of coffee. There's no more coffee upstairs to make a new pot after the stream. That's problematic. But I'll figure something out. I'll get more coffee tomorrow. I don't really have much of anything more to say. I'm kind of getting a little demoralized thinking about how much work there is to be done and how much time it's going to take to do it. And that happens. You have those dark moments when you're thinking about what exactly it is you're trying to do and all of the time and energy it's going to take to get it done. And that's how things work, and you don't let it get you down, and you don't let it ruin anything. You have to power through. You have to keep showing up, and you have to keep making progress. Even if it's just a little bit of progress, even if it's just thinking your way through things and talking your way through things and seeing what it sounds like when you say it out loud. Which, honestly, I'm making a video game where you grope a girl until she drops her panties. That sounds kind of fucked up when you say it out loud. It's also kind of funny. Anyway, that's more or less all I have to talk about tonight. It's been almost 50 minutes. So for those of you that are new here, that are new subscribers, thank you for showing up. I understand if you don't want to stick around. Who would? What's wrong with you people? But do the little YouTube dance. If you like it here, click the like button. If you don't, click the dislike button on your way out the door. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and leave a comment or whatever, and just all of that happy horse shit. Okay, bye.